Hey guys, the Notifier here today, and we are going to be taking a look at one of the world's best budget flagship smartphone, I guess, which would be the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7. Firstly, the Redmi was announced last year to be a separate brand, which makes the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 the first in the Note series. In terms of specs, this smartphone fits perfectly in the mid-range category, and it has a 48 megapixels rear camera as it highlights. This smartphone is priced in a way that gives it quite a good value for money. Make sure to stay to the end of the video because I've got some amazing wallpapers for you guys. So if you love this video or found it useful by any means, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on notifications, and without any further ado, let's hop into the video. So I got the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 on Jumia during their mobiles week, which happens to be the global version. First up, taking a look at what you get inside your Redmi Note 7 box. Really, nothing has changed, and it is still very much the same packaging you will get from most likely every other smartphone boxes, with the exemption of an headphone. And I also got the blue version. So here's what you can expect when unboxing your all-new Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 smartphone. First up is the smaller box, which contains the SIM ejector tool, some documents which includes the user guide and the warranty card. Moving on, you get a very soft silicone case which gives your device a little grip. Next up comes the device itself, and this one is in the blue color. There are also other various options which you can choose from. Next up, you get a Type-C USB cable, which I really love, and of course you get the USB power adapter, also known as the power brick. And finally, all of that is packaged in the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 box. Just for you guys to know, it took about a minute and 30 seconds to boot and set up for the first time, and we are right into Xiaomi's MIUI 10.2.1 on top of Android 9 Pie. Now, in terms of the look and feel of this device, most likely nothing has changed comparing to all other Xiaomi smartphones, but it is the 48 megapixels rear camera and the Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and on the back of this device that has changed more than anything. So you pretty much have all the same button placement as every other smartphone. Kicking off, you have an IR blaster at the top of this device to control a number of appliances, while on the bottom you've got a USB Type-C port, which I really love, and a single bottom firing stereo speakers. The speakers are great, by the way, and this is how it sounds like. Music does lack some bass on this device, and I really did not understand why ads was playing on the music player and some other apps of this device. On the right side of this device, you have got the power button and the volume rocker keys, while on the left you have got the hybrid SIM slots for two 4G SIMs, and also the storage can be expandable up to 252 gigabytes, but at the cost of a second SIM. And amazingly, a 3.5mm headphone aux jack at the top of this device, and at the top left corner of the back of this device houses the AI dual RAW cameras, which includes the 48 megapixels f1.8 camera and the 5 megapixels f2.4 depth sensor, which makes the device protrude a little bit. Below is the flash and the fingerprint reader, and towards the bottom is the Redmi branding. Up front we've got the 13 megapixels f2.2 front camera that is engulfed in a dot drop notch, while the earpiece is above the camera, and the notification LED and charging indicator is right at the bottom of the device, which is really not in the best position, but I'm happy we have one. Also, the side frames are plastic, and the Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and the back of this device is a very good fingerprint magnet. but with the silicone case provided, it prevents the fingerprint from getting on the back of the device, but the case itself is also a fingerprint magnet. I have actually really enjoyed the display on the Redmi Note 7, most likely the colors, brightness and saturation. However, I do feel like the bezels on the bottom are a bit too thick. I don't know if it is just me, like really we are in 2019 for human's sake. Maybe I'm being too picky, but I feel like if they were slightly smaller, it would have been a really great device. Other than that, it is a 6.3-inch IPS LCD captive touchscreen display with a 1080 by 2440p resolution, a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. Therefore, it covers approximately 81.4% screen to body ratio with an approximate PPI of 409 density, and videos were rendered quite well on this device. YouTube videos were capped at 1080p, which is really great. At the top of this device there were some bleeding and it became very obvious, especially when the screen is white. The device has got automatic brightness, a great reading mode with a ton of customizable option for scaling, and the best part is that you can add tint or any color and temperature you want. This device packs a lot more other customization like double tapping to wake or raise to wake, whichever you prefer, and I won't advise you to turn that on because it would significantly drain your battery. You also get the options of customizing the button layout. You can switch over to full screen if you want more screen real estate. Now let's talk about the battery specs. Xiaomi has done a great job by placing a 4000 mAh battery in this device. It also supports fast charging but doesn't come with a fast charger in the box. Of course, depending on what you do with your device throughout the day will tell on how much battery life you get, but you can get around 2 full days of battery life with a minimum usage and about 11 to 12 hours with a maximum usage. It comes with a USB Type-C connector. Also, with the charging brick that comes in the box, you can get probably about 0 to 50% battery in about an hour and a 0 to 100% battery in about 2 hours 40 minutes. The size of the Redmi Note 7 is really great. It actually fits really nicely in the hands and it is very comfortable. It is about 159.2mm long and is 75.2mm wide. It is less than a centimeter thick, about 8.1mm, and it weighs about 186 grams. Moving on, the 6.3-inch screen display might just be a little too big for some people, but the great thing is that you can activate one-handed mode just by swiping across the back button and the home button for those with the smaller hands. One more thing to note about the weight of this device. One day I was walking down the street and I wasn't getting the feeling you get when a smartphone is in your pocket, so I stopped. I was scared for a minute. Then I touched my pocket, it wasn't there. I touched the second pocket, it wasn't there. Then I reached into my pocket, lo and behold, it was there. I was like, thank God, because in my residential area, anything is movable. Terms and conditions applied. So furthermore, this device is really lightweighted. The Redmi Note 7 has a 48 megapixels rear camera, which is really huge considering the price range, and then you have a 13 megapixels front camera. Moving on the rear camera you've got a short video mode which does a 15 seconds video. You've also got normal video mode which can shoot 1080p at 30 frames and 60 frames per second. It can also shoot a time lapse and a slow motion video. Next up you have the default camera which can shoot HDR, and it also has AI which can recognize some particular items like plants and the body of text. You've also got Google Lens built-in. You've got the beauty mode, the timer, the tilt shift, and a lot more other features which are worthy of use. You've also got portrait mode for great bokeh shots, night mode, square mode, panorama, and the pro mode, which we can use to activate the 48 megapixels camera for great and better pictures. Moving on to the pictures, regular or normal pictures would only have one zoom level, while that of the 48 megapixels can zoom twice. so you can see every details of the picture on your device. On the front camera with the 13 megapixels, you've also got short video mode. Normal video mode can also shoot in 1080p, but it is limited to just 30 frames per second. You've also got photo mode, portrait mode, while the other modes, when clicked on, switch to the back camera. So I did check the details of the image of the pro mode and the normal mode. The only difference that I could find was that image of the default camera is a 2250 by 4000, while the 48 megapixels image is a 6000 by 8000, and it also occupied a large space. Selfies on this device were great, but a little bit less saturated and warm, with a lot of exposures around the focused image. Portrait mode was also great on this device, with the edge detection on point, but some pictures tend to look artificial. So the pictures I took at night with the night mode was really great and decent comparing to the pictures taken at night with the normal mode. You can also get better images with the night mode if you have a great light scenario. Moving on to the video aspect, despite having electronic image stabilization, video shot on motion wasn't really stable.
This is the front-facing camera video quality of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7. Please let me know what you think about the video quality and the sound quality in the comment section below. As you can see, the phone exposes the back, some part of the back here, and you just need to tap on the part that is exposed, and the phone tries to compensate both sides by making your face underexposed.
When you first get your device, it would have MIUI 10.2.1 installed on it. However, I'm sure you would get an update within the first 2 to 3 days of use. Without getting too technical, I like how the Redmi Note 7 handled multitasking and apps would load back to the point where it was left. Well, that only applies and depends if the app is left for just a short while. The Redmi Note 7 is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 chipset, clocked at 2.2 GHz, and it is built on a 14nm chipset technology, while the graphics run on an Adreno 512 GPU. To me, this device was quite snappy for everyday use. Moving on, you've also got Android 9 Pie out of the box. While sometimes you get to notice some minor lags here and there, during my time of review of this device, I didn't get to play Asphalt 9 and PUBG, but I'll be making a full separate video on the gaming aspect of the Redmi Note 7. So make sure you stay notified. So these are all the gestures you will get with the full screen display. You can swipe up to go home, you can swipe right across the screen to go back, and you can swipe up and hold to get to multitasking. Also, if you have used a Xiaomi device before, you should know about second space. With second space, you can set 2 different passwords or patterns to open different spaces on your device. It is almost like having an office and a home device all in one. Or if you share your device with some other persons, you can have a private space and a general space. You can also switch between spaces by using your fingerprint. So to illustrate how I switch between spaces with my fingerprint on this device, I use the index finger on the left for my general space, and I use the index finger on the right for my personal space. Like you have guessed, switching between spaces takes a while. Also, in the settings, you have the option to select a particular Xiaomi headphone, which I guess would enhance the sound quality depending on the type of Xiaomi headphones that you have. You can get the base model with a 3GB RAM and a 32GB RAM for $150 US, which amounts to 58,000 naira. You can also get the 4GB RAM with the 64GB RAM storage for 66,900 naira, and the 4GB RAM with 128GB RAM for 75,500 naira. These are the prices that Xiaomi launched them for in Nigeria. You can get this device on Jumia for a bit less. I'll be leaving the link to it down in the description below. Finally, I designed some really good and nice wallpapers for you guys. As you know, the dot drop notch on the Redmi Note 7 is iconic, so I created some wallpapers for you guys. They are all 4 in total. They were all created by me Some I did created from scratch while some were manipulated, and they are all for free. Just download them from the link down in the description and let me know in the comment section which one is your favorite. When you use my wallpapers, make sure to send me a screenshot on any of my social media platforms. I have also used the Redmi Note 7 to make a lot of calls, and as far as I could tell, me speaking over the phone was quite good and the audio output was really great as well. In general, I must say that I really like how customizable this device is, and my everyday use was really awesome. I also love the attractive price range and great specifications. Well, this has been my review. Let me know what you think about this device in the comment section down below, and also, is this device really worth it to you? Well, that has been all from me today. If you loved this video or found this useful by any means, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on notifications, be notified, stay notified, and I will catch you guys in my next video.